we are back from the Silver Creek Studios for another episode of Get a Load of This. I'm Jared.
I'm Ryan.
As we roll on, I see the patrol on creep. So we got ghosts before we peep. Me and Ren in the Black BZ. Pumping some funky shit by the JOE.
Look at that.
Nice.
And even got his name in on that one, too.
Always do.
Nicely done. Hey, well, we are back, and we've got an interesting topic tonight. But first, I want to give a couple of shout-outs to, some apparent fans that we have. Mm-hmm. So, hello, Angie. Thanks for listening. It was great talking to you, and we hope you keep listening. Tell your friends. And
I wish I could have seen you.
Yeah,
I wish I was there.
Well, come around the next baseball banquet.
Well, they lock me in a cage when I'm not in here. So,
yeah, I'll see her this weekend. We'll be at the baseball tournament. Yeah. So, and then from the NYC. Mike, thanks again for listening, man, and it was great hearing from you. We'll have to catch up, maybe have you as a guest on the show someday. So
you can sit on my lap, Mike.
But it's good to hear from some fans out there. So you want to kick this off, or you want me to?
Yeah, well, what are we talking about? You mentioned you got a crazy bank heist idea, so we thought
that wrong. I thought we were talking about boners.
Oh, no.
Sorry,
next time.
That's next episode.
I read that wrong. Bank heist. That's a great topic. I like that.
Yeah, we're going to get into how would you rob a bank?
I don't know why it popped into my head. I don't know if it was a commercial or if it was a TV show or something, but it did, and it made me harken back to my younger days. So I worked at a bank. I think I mentioned that on a previous episode, and I was just a lowly bank teller, but during the flood of 1993 here in the Midwest,
the Great Flood, much
of the city, especially the city of St. Louis, especially down near the river, everything was near the river that summer. They shut down a lot of businesses, and the bank that I worked at was one of them. And so the bank management was looking for individuals that were willing to work overnights. 11 to 7 every night to watch pumps and make sure they had gas in them to keep pumping.
Trustworthy individuals who would never think about how to rob their said establishment.
At that point, I hadn't thought about it. But after you
were they like bathrooms to the left, all the money's locked up, get it out of your mind.
Right.
Watch the pump, no water in the floor. Good night.
Money's over here, shitter's over there. Good luck. No, they pretty much left us alone down there, and the bank was for the most part cleaned out of the important stuff, but there were some old papers and old documents in the basement, and it was an old bank.
Not like the Constitution there.
No, I'm just like bank records back to the late 1800s.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, it was a neat. It is. I believe it's still there. It was a neat building, and the basement of these old buildings in the city of St. Louis, they're cavernous, and they just kind of go on and on. They go under the street, and they all tie to the damn sewer. So anyway, I'm down there stuck in South St. Louis for an entire summer after my senior year, and you get bored. And the National Guard happened to be there as well. So I made friends because these guys weren't much older than me. They're just young kids that were stuck on a shitty duty.
Right. With guns, though.
Yeah, they did have guns, and they had Humvees, and they had a lot of cool stuff. But we would kill the time sitting in the parking lot of this bank, just bullshitting. And one night, we decided to figure out how we would rob the bank.
Yeah,
if we were to rob the bank. And we had a pretty good plan.
A good to and fro, a good banter.
Yeah, well, I mean,
you were their inside man.
Well, yeah, they threw out, here's how I do it, and I said, well, that wouldn't work because here's why, and I would give them their pitfalls along the way. But eventually, we arrived. There was really no way that we could do it with the knowledge I had without me probably getting caught.
Their plan was first we befriend a dumb bank teller, and
the guy with the keys. And go from there.
Yeah, and now there's 3 National Guard guys walking around with bank records from some Elmer Gimpfard from 1843.
Yeah, I don't know.
So you couldn't do it without getting caught. Go.
Well, basically, yeah. No, I couldn't. There was no way. I mean, they had a great plan, but there was no way that I was going to come out of it clean.
We need a patsy.
There was pretty easily they were gonna make a trail back to me no matter what. But there are weak spots.
Sure, in every plan has a. Here's one for you, real quick. So let's say you're going to do it. You're going to shoot somebody. I mean, in your head,
you got to make that decision from the jump.
I mean, you got to know in the back of your mind: am I going to do this to where some people can die, and that's on the table,
right?
Or you're gonna say like everyone's in their bra and panties, and and I got all their cell phones and shit like that,
right?
I think I would do it Joker style, man. Back a fucking bus in the building
and just load it up and run like hell.
Yeah, kill everybody. Basically had each other people killed. So
our plan was
dog day afternoon.
No innocents would be harmed. It was in the dark of night. We were in, we were out. Nobody knew. Nobody knew any better. We'd figure out the alarm system, and we could get through all those hurdles, and basically no one would be harmed.
Sure.
Except for me in prison after the fact.
Why do you keep thinking that you're going to get caught?
Because someone's got
a lock. Someone had to go down.
Yeah.
I mean, someone would have had to go down.
Figure out
it wasn't a perfect plan.
So did you get any details? Like, how were you going to get past the alarm? How were you going to...
Well, I had the codes. I mean, I had...
Right.
Boom. Past the alarm.
Yeah, man.
Ryan's caught.
I did not have... the combination to the vault. There was more security involved with the vault.
That takes me back to I watched a thing. It was like Forensic Files or something, and so talking about being the patsy. This woman swanced on this idiot that worked for Loomis Fargo, and she told him, "Look, if you rob Loomis Fargo, I'll bang you." Yeah.
Right.
Whole time she's like, no. So
was this the movie?
No, this is real shit. It could have been a movie, but
I thought it was made into a movie.
So anyhow, he gets there at his shift at Loomis Fargo and starts loading a armored truck and loads the whole thing and drives it out. And he had been an employee for like 9 years and everything. Drives it out. They take the truck, or the chick and her real man takes the truck, and then they give him like $18 and ship him to Mexico and put him in a hotel room down there and say, lay low because they're looking for you.
Right.
Meanwhile, okay.
Yeah, I think it was Masterminds, and it's based on a true story.
Real story.
Yeah,
so anyhow, the chick and her man, they buy a big ass house. Yep. They start rolling out, and then he's still down in the hole.
You should see them. You should
I'm
see
sure
the movie.
That's
that's pretty much how it goes. But it's Zach Galifianakis is the patsy.
Yeah.
And I forgot who was the
Kristen Wiig.
Yeah, Kristen Wiig and Owen Wilson and Leslie Jones, Kate McKinnon, and Jason Sudeikis.
So it's Ghostbusters meets bank robbers.
Yeah,
that's like 3 of the 4 Ghostbusters.
Well, yeah, they didn't remake anything except for a true story, which is allowable in today's world, I guess. But no, that's the movie was funny. I knew it was based on a true story.
It wasn't really funny when I watched it on Forensic Files. It wasn't a lot of humor.
It's a whole different thing there. Yeah,
a lot more factual than it was giggles.
Right.
Yeah. So we've probably all seen the bank truck parked outside of whatever establishment that's turning in their money's bag for the day.
I could take them.
Sure. Yeah. We've all been
I think I could take them.
tempted by that, right? Like how easy would it be to just walk up to that truck and
I've thought,
right?
Look, I'll be honest. I've thought about it. You see, especially it's a lone guy, and he gets out of the.
Ain't a lone guy. If that shit, if there's
there's
real
a guy
money,
in the truck, but there's a guy that gets out of the truck. And he's
and then there's another asshole in there getting the change.
There's 2 of them. There's 3 of us. Come on,
right, we can do this, Joe.
Yeah, okay.
Come on, think positive, man.
Use your ID card. Make sure you. Man, I worked at a grocery store when I was a kid, and these trucks would pull up, and they were fucking militant, man. They ain't joking around. And they'd all look half swollen, fake cops and all. I mean,
yeah, they got a whole lot of keys on there. But
no, see, I didn't see dipshits like that, man. I seen Navy SEALs.
Yeah, no, I think they're all armed.
To pick up $19.
If you're talking about a Wells Fargo or Loomis Fargo truck or whatever, they're armed. I mean, right? Yeah.
Well, they're armed and they're basically you die.
Yeah.
You die with this truck. You die with.
I think
fight until the end.
I think you're giving them too much credit, Joe.
Well,
Brinks truck, they're.
I mean, it depends on how much they're carrying. I guess if they're carrying,
FDIC.
Well, yeah, they're not
the crown
running around
jewels or something like that.
The bingo parlors, man. I'm telling you, these people that they pick that shit up in a different car. Yeah.
Probably the better path is to find the guy that works on the ATM machine.
Yeah.
Find that guy because I don't think he's armed and he's just a geek. He's a tech geek. He's a computer guy, right?
Well, shit, some of them are,
and he's got the keys to the ATM.
Well, some of them now are privately owned ATMs.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the one, yeah. Yeah, but I'm saying like at a bank, like you roll the
drive-through
drive-through at the bank or whatever. Find one of those is getting worked on. And there's a. By the way, we're not condoning the robbery of any financial institution. This is all hypothetical.
Well, no, I will say. I mean, if we,
hey, it's a free world. Do what you want.
Yeah, if you listen to this and you're like, "Fuck it, I'm doing it," at 25% to us, right? Off top.
I think that makes us culpable. I don't know. Maybe we want to back off of that a little bit.
You got to pay. You got to pay Fat Tony.
Yeah. Well,
we want an island. That'll do.
That'll help. That'll at least get the bridge.
It gives us a down payment on an island. Yeah.
Okay, so let's break this down. Would you rob a bank in the middle of the day or in the middle of the night?
No, I would be at night.
Your plan was at night.
Yeah, dark at
but
night.
you got more alarms and everything's already set at that point. You walk in the middle of the day.
But there's other variables in the day. You have all these people that can fuck things up for you. And there's too many.
Not if you come in AK.
But again, I don't want to. I'm a kinder, gentler thief. I don't want to kill anybody.
I would
But if I'm throwing that out that I'm going to kill someone, then yeah, I'd probably go in just guns a blazing and quick as hell and and getting it out. But
I would.
So that's the other. Okay, go ahead.
Mine's Lufthansa.
What does that mean?
The Lufthansa heist from Goodfellas. And that's a real thing.
Yeah.
Where they walk in, steal the money. All they had was the guys that were involved in it, and then no one got hurt.
Well, eventually they all got hurt.
Well, yeah, they all, right. And then the one before
they bought a Cadillac with a mink coat.
And the one before that Henry did, him and
it was at
Tommy.
Wasn't it at the airport as well?
It was also at the airport, too. It wasn't as big as Lufthansa, but
they didn't expect the Lufthansa heist to be that big. They were even surprised by what they got away with.
$6 million, I think, is what it was.
But it was a lot.
That would be ideal because no one gets hurt. You don't get caught, of course.
Right.
And it's all. I mean,
the whole thing that blew that up.
Insured.
It wasn't just the guy buying the Cadillac and the mink coat. It was what was his name?
Stacks.
Stacks. That's right. Yeah, Stacks.
Stacks.
Based on a real guy.
It was his real name.
And he forgot to get rid of the van.
The brake,
and he was supposed to take it to
there was a dump yard that he could get it crushed.
Who's the Teflon Don? What's his name?
Was that
John Gotti?
Yeah, John Gotti owned this scrap yard that Stacks was supposed to take the van to have it crushed.
Sam Jackson? Samuel L. Jackson?
It was.
Yeah. And he fell asleep and got high and
got high at his girlfriend's, passed out by the time.
And so the police found, and he parked it in front of a fire hydrant too.
Right.
And so the police find it. They wipe it for prints, and everybody's in the shitter because he got high and forgot to take it to John Gotti's junkyard. And that's the funniest thing about it, is that it's all true. It was in a movie, one of my favorite movies. I think yours as well.
Yeah, truly.
And it's all true.
It's all true.
It's all for the most part true.
I've watched the factual thing about it, and I mean, even the names are true. And I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy how close that was. Even the scenes where the bodies were dumped and everything, and being in the meat lockers and shit, that was true. That was all real.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. These guys. Yeah.
Well, Tommy DeSimone, Joe Pesci's character, he wasn't real. He's an amalgamation of a couple different characters that they kind of blended together to make Joe Pesci's character.
Well, yeah, his name is, but that guy
something
actually
close to that.
But that guy gets killed just like Tommy gets killed.
But the actual guy was apparently a huge, just a giant, not a fat guy, just a tall, big, intimidating man, much different than Joe Pesci.
Right.
But no, that movie's amazing. Talk about heists in general.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of great movies. We got Ocean's 8 coming out. I don't know if it's going to be good or not, but the Ocean's movies are all pretty good. Anytime it comes to robbing a casino.
How about like Dog Day Afternoon? Did you ever watch Dog Day Afternoon? I like it because it came out the year I was born, but
I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen it.
Al Pacino? Yeah. It's good, but
another movie night.
They get caught. They get caught. He's very compassionate. He's doing it with an idiot because the idiot that he's stealing the money with, he's wanting to use the money, or Al Pacino's wanting to use the money for something real and relevant. The guy he's robbing with wants to use it as a sex change.
Jesus.
So,
okay, focus here.
How many heist movies have there been where they did get away with it? How many? How many?
Inside Man. You guys should watch Inside Man. Yeah. That is a great movie.
How about in real life? Does anybody
D.B. Cooper
ever really? Yeah, but he's about the only one, right? And we don't even know if he survived the jump from the plane.
But the
doesn't matter.
Money ain't recovered.
Right.
D.B. Cooper, Jesse James.
Yeah. Well, he died in a shootout, didn't he?
He still robbed banks and
got away with it. No, I just don't think there's too many.
It happens.
The success rate is low.
No, I do think it's low. I think some of the smaller time stuff you don't hear about as much. You know, maybe they robbed a bank, or maybe they robbed a branch of a bank or whatever, and they got away with $500 or something.
Right.
You never hear from them again. It's the $1 million, they're getting caught.
You try to go big, it's going to go bad for you. Yeah.
Did you remember? It was a couple years ago. It's been more than a couple years here in town.
Yeah.
The guys that robbed, it was an armored truck, and they got like 1.2.
But they got caught though, right?
Man. Yeah, they got caught. I think 2 of them got killed.
About that.
Wow.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I mean, I was thinking
it was in St. Louis. It was in St. Louis.
I do remember something that it seemed like it went through town here. There was like a handful of, like, they could sort of trace the path of the different banks they were doing, but I don't remember it being 1.2. Wow.
Well, that wasn't in our town.
Right.
It was in St. Louis.
Yeah.
There was one in our town. That was years ago, before I even lived here. But
okay, so are you going to take a hostage? Well, you're going at night, so but it's not fair because you have the codes. Nobody has the codes. Assuming you don't have the codes to the bank that you want to rob.
Well, I think you got to go during the day then, because there's got to be someone there to get you in.
So, are you going to go in, taking a hostage, use them as a shield, use them as leverage, or are you going to say, everybody down, taking your phones, and then I'm out in 5 minutes?
Well, so here's another thing that I know that in every bank, I think every bank, there's the whole thing they show in the movies about hitting the button. That's real. I mean, that's at the bank that I worked at. We actually had a foot lever that you
Schnooks had the doorbell.
Yeah, you had your hands up. They tell you to put your hands up, and you could still kick
and every teller's got
every
one,
single teller had one under their teller booth, and you had to be careful because every once in a while someone would accidentally kick it.
So there's no getting around that, most likely, right? That's
so
going to
go off. The police are
going
to get called if as long. I don't know how you would get away with not doing that unless you walked in and said, and screamed at everybody to step away from their teller booth. And
even then,
you just there's so many but yet people do get away with it.
Yeah.
I mean, not every day, but frequently, especially here in St. Louis. You about once a year, there's at least one bank robbery, and they're caught pretty quickly. But
so you got to do it. You got to be quick. So even if they hit the button, you got to give me what's in the register.
If you got about a minute and a half.
So, okay, let's dance this avenue. What do you think's in a register?
Well, it depends on the day and it depends on the time of day.
Okay, average.
Well,
if it's a Social Security check day or if it's first of the month, whenever there's going to be
your best thing in your till. What do you?
So
think?
I just before
till.
I don't know, maybe $10,000.
I was going to say tonight right before you guys got here, I had a documentary on, and they happened to say this guy robbed a bank. He didn't get into the vault. All he got what was in the drawers, and it was $8,000. So $8,000 to $10,000.
Okay, that's a federal offense.
Yeah,
you're going to jail for 20 years, easy.
Right.
For $10,000.
That's not worth it.
You got to do that 10 times.
You don't get to do that 10 times.
You do if you're good.
Then you got
Jesse James
so now you got $100,000. Now you got $100,000. What the? You can't buy anything with it.
Right.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna move into a nice subdivision and buy a house?
Well, then nowadays you have the technology, the die packs, and the tracking devices they can throw in there and stuff like that. We didn't have that whenever I was a bank teller. Die packs and things like that. But I guess that's a common thing now that. If you're getting robbed, they tell you to
They want you to think it is, I guess.
Yeah.
If I was going to rob something or steal, it's going to be enough to where I'm done and I can be away.
Right. Okay.
And I'm gone. I mean,
so that means
$8,000 does not entice me.
That means you got to get into the vault. So you have to plan this bank heist to make it worth it.
How much does the vault have? How much do you think a vault at a First Bank branch have?
I mean, again, it all depends on the day of the week, but I would say there's easily $100,000.
$100,000, okay.
Maybe a couple $100,000.
Let's even go $250,000. $250,000.
Sure. You got to get out clean.
And let's say you get out clean,
and then you have to launder the money.
Possibly, which wouldn't be hard if let's say you got out.
Mm-hmm.
You're off. You're running. You're to fucking Mexico now or Canada. Whatever your weather preference is, and you're there, and so now I got $250,000, and I'm fucking rich. I'm rich, bitch.
Yeah.
No, but you're not. And I would imagine if we did it, we're relatively young. We're as far as what $250,000 would do for us in Mexico, I'm telling you.
It's not going to last you.
In 4 years at best, even if you were like, okay, I won't buy this shirt today, you're at 4 years at best, you're broke, penniless in Mexico.
And you'd have to think about what country you're going to go to, because you couldn't go to Mexico because I think they have extradition laws with the United States. You'd have to find that country that can't extradite you, the U.S. can't extradite you from. But
and that's the whole time if you got caught. Yeah, and I'm a lily white guy down in Mexico.
Right.
It's just like I stick out like Waldo.
So you were talking about backing up a second to the local crimes, like local bank heist or whatever. And this is not a bank robbery, but it's probably the funniest robbery, we'll call it that, heist, if you will, that happened in our town here. There was a picnic up in town.
Oh yeah, this is awesome.
And the pork producers of Monroe County, I'm just going to say it, the pork producers of Monroe County had a new grill. And they were cooking up pork steaks and cutlets and bratwurst. And this thing was the beautiful, custom-made. It was, like a 8-foot long or maybe even longer than that.
It was a trailer.
Gas grill on a trailer, all chromed out, like diamond plate finished. Beautiful, beautiful trailer. They get done at whatever festival they were cooking at, and they shut it down. I mean, it was a 2-day thing, and they left it there. Well, two asshats decide that they're going to pull up their 83 Chevy 1500 and they're going to hook it up and take off with it. And they did. Well, the cops found them. They just
followed the grease.
Followed the trail of grease.
Nice.
And they found it out on some farm. Found it. And I'm like, man, if you're, number one, don't steal something that's stupid. Number two, what are you going to do with it?
Yeah, you show your friends. Hey, look at this!
Grill up some pork steaks
last night.
And number three, be smart enough to, I don't know, clean up the grease trail behind you. You know?
Yeah. Hey, look at what I got. You're not smart enough to spell your own name, and you came up with this. You're a fucking.
But I think
idiot.
I think the story was it was just two drunk assholes that this would be a good idea, and didn't realize the repercussions of their choices. But that's the way it goes.
Yeah, dumbasses.
Yeah. That's a dumb heist. I kind of got off the topic.
You're talking us out of robbing a bank. I thought we were going to get on board and
so
everybody put their ideas together.
This was our revving up. Like, we're all right, guys. We're selling our mics and buying guns. No, Again, I honestly don't think there's enough money you can get out of a heist.
I think it depends on the bank. I bet some of these banks have $1 million in them or more.
Well, if you go downtown to, the Federal Reserve Bank, but they have a different level of security there too.
Right. So then now you got to be smarter than that. So you're going to be that on that level for $1 million. I got to split it 9 ways.
Yeah. I think you got to go steal
bearer bonds or something.
Yeah. I mean, you've got to figure out, whatever it is, if it's at the Federal Reserve Bank or if it's a museum or if it's some gems or, who knows?
See, now you got to fence all that shit.
Right. You got to get rid of it all.
I know you. You. Hey, you want to buy some gems? I got the Mona Lisa.
Buy the
real Mona Lisa. Like, I'll give you $100 for it right now. I was kind of hoping for a little more than that.
Right. Yeah, you can't take that to a pawn shop and
I think you gotta hit a truck. There's only 1 or 2 guys, so you got limited security. You're not enclosed in a building. You don't have to fight your way out.
Right.
There's nobody. They might have a radio or whatever, but if you take them by surprise, the cops aren't going to be on you like that.
Right. We need some masks of dead presidents.
Yeah, that would work.
Yeah. What was that movie?
That was called
Point Break.
Was that Point Break?
Yeah.
And there is a heist movie called Dead Presidents as well.
Right.
Another good one is Set It Off.
No, I haven't seen that one.
That's with Queen Latifah and Jada Pinkett.
Well,
yeah, that is good.
I was sitting there thinking of other.
I mean, the best
movies.
all time. Heat
is
just
great.
Amazing.
Yeah,
I love that movie.
One.
So, have you guys ever seen the original Ocean's 11 movie with Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr.?
I'm aware of it, but I've never seen it.
It's a really good movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it is dated, obviously. It's the 60s, and it's Vegas in the 60s, though. So, if you like old mobster type stuff, then it's right up your alley. And it's interesting to see the genesis of what George Clooney and Matt Damon made with this empire of the Ocean's movies that are out there now. That the original Ocean's 11 was solid movie.
Sure.
Yeah, they kind of started stretching it in the other ones. Not that the first one wasn't a stretch, but
I thought
definitely
I thought all three of them were really good.
Well, they're good, but I mean,
and this Ocean's 8, there. I mean, stretching it. The main character, who I don't know who's playing
Sandra
her.
Bullock.
Is it Sandra Bullock?
And so she's like kin to Danny Ocean.
Yeah, she's like his sister, the estranged sister or something like that. And I'm like, come on, come on. We did all these movies and we've never knew that Danny Ocean had an estranged sister. Come on. I don't know, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Sandra Bullock's America's sweetheart, man. What of course you're gonna like it. Her. I don't see her as the lead though. I kind of see her as more of the.
You don't see Sandra Bullock as a lead?
Not as the leader of a criminal outfit. I think when I think of her, I see her as kind of like the bumbling. She's funny, she's smart, she's tough.
Miss
Congeniality type character where she can.
I think you need to get back to a little bit of speed on her.
Yeah. She was kind of scatterbrained.
She held her own. Have you ever seen The Net? That's a great movie.
Yeah, that is a good movie. I have seen that. Yeah, so I don't know. I wish old Sandy, the best. I'll watch it. I think it'll be a decent.
I'll give it a shot. Yeah, I feel like all these reboots lately have been pretty weak.
I'll watch it at home.
Yeah, I'm not going to see that in the theater.
Small screen. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. I see where you're going there with the reboots, though. We discussed that for maybe another episode.
Yeah, but say we don't want to piss that because that's
we could tease it up here. We could tease it up here. I mean, how many more of these can we handle? Where it's just like, all right, the same premise, the same, somewhat the same characters, just rehashing it. We talked about Lethal Weapon, how the TV show's getting rid of, Sergeant Riggs. That's it's come on, let's try to use our brains, Hollywood, and get a little bit more creative and come up with something that.
Well, yeah, call me. I'll get a goddamn show out there for you. And that'll tickle the tip.
Right. What's their name? Danny and the Mule or whatever. Grandma and what's the band that you like so much?
Oh, what the hell is his name?
I imagine they'll be starring in this.
Something in the Goat. Oh, the Goat and Your Mother.
That's right, yeah.
The Goat and Your Mother. How did I forget that?
Starring.
But it's the Goat. It's Goat and Your Mother, but it's the acronym. So greatest of all time.
I got you. Yeah.
And Your Mother.
Oh, this whole time I was picturing an
actual
horned goat.
So you never watched the video?
No, I was at work every time I thought of it.
He was advised against it.
Not doing that.
As well, he should have been.
We'll have to do that after we wrap this episode. We'll have to pull that up for Jared. No, I think that's another episode altogether. But I wish Ocean's 8 all the best. I'll see it. I don't know if I'll see it in the theater, but I'll see it eventually. It's worth taking a gander.
Yeah, have you guys ever seen Swordfish? As far as that's a good movie.
Was that Halle Berry?
Of course, we've seen.
It was a required viewing.
I guess I didn't even think of that part. But that's another. See, that's one of those things. I would be a bank robber if it was like, okay, wire the money to this number and it's $50 million. I get it then. $50 million? That shit changes. I'm not fucking trying to drive an escort to Vegas to pick up a truck to go to Mexico.
Right.
50 million changes things.
Sure.
So if I got into that kind of espionage and sign me up. I'm down. But if I'm going to go running into a bank and grabbing whatever's out of the till and getting shot in the face when I run out with my $58.
The more I sit here and think about it, I'm thinking about like Sneaky Pete. Have you guys seen Sneaky Pete?
Yeah.
I think the best path is to rob criminals. I mean, you look
because they can't go nowhere. Right, they can't go to nobody.
And you look at John Wick, guys like that. I mean,
criminals will do anything to get it back. That's the other.
Well, true.
Kill him.
It's not federally insured.
You're a fucking criminal. Yeah. You shoot him right dead in the face. Pah, and I take his $58.
Yeah, but I got to give it some thought first before I shoot.
Yeah, don't think about it. No. Don't think about it.
I
think that's
wear
probably
a criminal
the path.
Skin.
You find out where the criminals are. You rob the most high dollar poker game you can find, and that's the path. That's the path because they probably got a vault, but you can just yank that prick out with my truck.
Yeah, that's like Fast Five. So you're gonna go to a poker game?
Yeah. Well, high stakes.
That motherfucker better be stacked.
Oh yeah, because you have to watch Sneaky Pete. They got some. No, I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, but it's a big poker game.
Like 50 million.
Oh, I'd say so. Yeah.
Oh, all right. But then
they're betting big money. They got international.
I'd do that.
Like Matt Damon was there, and
like I would. Yeah, if you could figure out a way to like rob the Kentucky Derby,
Yeah.
That's real.
That was a movie too, I think, wasn't
Well,
it?
there was one about robbing the Daytona 500 or Charlottesville.
Okay. I thought that for some reason I remember a movie about robbing a horse track. It probably wasn't a good movie.
Oh, that's what is that? That's Beverly Hills Cop 2.
You're right. It is Beverly Hills Cop 2. They're robbing them, but it was an ulterior motive, though. I think there.
Well, that's because the guy who owned the racetrack was
spoiler alert.
Yeah. Sorry if you haven't seen a movie from 1987.
Time to catch up.
Yeah, get your VHS running and you'll finish it.
Right.
He was the alphabet killer, and he was cashing in on all the insurance money from things that he owned.
I got you.
That's what he did with that, and then blamed Carlos.
It's been a long time since I've seen that movie.
Yeah, me too.
That had what's her name?
Bridget Nielsen.
Bridget Nielsen.
Oh, yeah.
Stalone's ex-wife.
But it was Stallone's wife. Then it was when Bridget is before Flavor Flav got to her.
Okay.
Flavor Flav.
Well, that's a stark difference, isn't it?
Yeah.
One day you're married to Sly Stallone.
Yeah. Oh, it was Sly like Rambo
At the
2
peak
Sly. Like
yeah.
Rocky 3 Sly.
4. Come on.
Whatever.
Get your Rockies
He was
right.
pretty ripped in Rocky 4. So there's a new Rambo coming out.
Yeah,
Is there?
Rambo 6.
Yeah, so
Man.
Stallone kind of teased it on Instagram.
He's going after Social Security.
Yeah. He's going to take out John McCain once and for all.
Nice. Yeah.
No, but then it makes me. You were talking about Beverly
Did
Hills
you say he
Cop.
takes out his cane?
No. You talk about Beverly Hills Cop. Is like, why haven't we seen Eddie Murphy do another one of those?
He tried. He wanted to.
Did he?
And then it was going to be his son, which was going to be Damon Wayans Jr.
Okay.
Was going to be like
Eddie's son.
right. And I don't know. They just I don't know because
I
I feel like he's fallen off anyway. Like, what's the last
Shit.
Eddie
But if we're
Murphy?
talking
I don't know.
about
Eddie
reboots-
Murphy. To me, Eddie Murphy never has fallen off. Eddie Murphy is up there with.
No.
He's Red Fox. He's Richard Pryor. He
Yeah,
can't
but once
fall
he
off.
started making kid movies about,
So did Ice Cube.
I know exactly.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on now. Ice Cube is the shit. Big 3. And they're
Are
redoing
we
Friday.
there yet?
And they're redoing Friday. Friday 4. It's called
Well, my
Last
point
Friday.
is, if we're going to reboot shit, if we're going to do another sequel, if Stallone can get these things paid for, why can't Eddie, get another Beverly Hills Cop movie out of this deal? I think that would sell.
48 hours.
Yeah,
with
another
Nick
48
Nolte.
Yeah, yeah. Talk about
Unkept Nick Nolte.
talk about guys.
Go
that-
get him
with
now.
Canes, I mean, I don't. Can Nick Nolte even talk anymore?
I don't know. Goddamn Reggie. I would like to see a movie
Just
with
be
Nick
a series
Nolte.
of grunts.
Yeah, hell, Reggie, get in our car. I would want to see Nick Nolte and Gary Busey in a movie together.
Be unintelligible. That's the name of the movie. Unintelligible, starring
Oh.
Nick Nolte.
Well, not those two. Yeah, I'd be like, turn this shit off. Are you kidding me? Yeah, those two in The Odd Couple. Not that. I want to see those two in like another 48 hours, and like Gary Busey's like the criminal or like a criminal element.
I got you. A buddy cop film with Gary Busey and Nick Nolte.
No, that'd be terrible. They'd never get out of the parking lot. It'd be 2 hours of them driving around like Austin Powers.
You got the keys. Oh, I got the keys.
I will tear out your endocrine system. Goddamn, Gary, get in the back seat.
Well, all right. There we go. We've come up with a movie idea.
Yep.
We've solved all the problems of the
So
world.
we're already better than every writer in Hollywood.
Right.
And hashtag that
That's
shit.
right. I'm pretty sure we could sell that Gary Busey thing.
I guarantee
Yeah.
we could. People love Gary Busey.
Yeah, he's America's hero.
Oh, yeah. People love Gary Busey like people love to see an overturned car.
Right.
That's
about right.
That's where
about
we're
right.
at with that shit.
It'd be like, Sharknado has a following.
Oh my god.
You know?
It does.
So?
But that's like watching the drunk girl puke in the curtains.
Yeah.
That's like, oh, that's terrible. All
Yeah,
right.
glad I don't have to
All
clean that
right,
up.
I gotta go. I bet people leave. You couldn't put that shit in the theaters because
Yeah.
that stuff. Now, anything
You go straight to video. Straight to video makes money. Netflix might buy that
Straight
shit.
to Netflix. Yeah, let's have a series.
Have you seen some of the shit that Adam Sandler's putting? I mean, some of it's.
I like Adam
okay.
Sandler.
I
so.
do too. I love Adam Sandler, but some of these movies, they're just not. They're not.
I
They're
haven't,
not
I
good.
haven't seen any of that Netflix stuff because, again,
You don't have Netflix,
Right.
Well, I wouldn't subscribe for Sandler stuff.
Well, see, I heard that the Ridiculous Six was really good.
Yeah, that was better than the others. I can't remember the name of them, but the one
Do-Over. I want to see the
Do-Over was. It was cheesy. It wasn't that well produced.
Is that the one where he's
with Spade on a boat or something?
Yeah, it was okay.
And then the one that he did with Dustin Hoffman was pretty good, but that was more of a emotional ride. You know, it wasn't really a comedy. It was.
Have you ever seen the one with him?
Coming of age, really, but
him and Don Cheadle.
I don't think so.
I can't think of what it is.
Adam Sandler and Don Cheadle.
Adam Sandler and Don Cheadle do a movie, and it's It's a serious movie. Adam Sandler should have got a fucking Oscar for that movie.
Really?
He was unbelievable. He was a lawyer. They were both lawyers. And his family got killed in 9/11. They were in one of the planes that crashed into the towers. And he just went off the fucking rails after that. And
really?
Unbelievable. It was fucking making my hair stand on my
looking
arms.
it up.
He's awesome.
Reign Over Me.
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
It is And then, so Don Cheadle... Don Cheadle's always trying to bring him back to reality and everything. And then
that sounds familiar.
There's a scene where Adam Sandler kind of talks about that day.
You do. I can see the chills on your arm.
It's fucking crazy.
So it's called Reign Over Me, RAIGN Over Me, and it's got Sandler, Don Cheadle, Jada Pinkett Smith, Liv Tyler. Gets 7.5 out of 10 stars on IMDb.
Right.
I'm gonna take a look at it.
It's not Spanglish. Spanglish was kind of stupid,
right?
Or The Cobbler. That's another movie that he did that was supposed to be kind of.
I thought Click was pretty good.
Click was really good. I like that.
That's a favorite.
This is a bank robbery episode. Talking about Adam
This is how it goes.
Sandler
People got to figure this thing out. You know, we don't necessarily stay on course here, but you know, whatever.
We always end up going back to movies.
we watch a lot of movies.
we know where our bread's buttered, I think.
Well, we decided we're not going to rob a bank unless it's got, what is it, 50 million?
50 million or more.
At least 50 million. I want to,
So keep your eyes open.
Well, I think robbing a criminal enterprise is the way to go.
I think that's a smart idea. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to end up having to become a doctor or something. And then I'm going to have a fucking lair. Once I'm done, that money will fuel bigger shit.
Your new criminal enterprise,
right?
Which I will then target, and I'll rob you, and the cycle goes on and on.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And so we go on.
Well, I'm not sure that's how we plan for this to go, but you know what? Hey, it is what it is, man. We, by the way, another disclaimer, just for safety measure, we do not condone the robbery of any enterprise, whether
and as I said,
legal or illegal.
If you do, 25% comes straight to
get a load of this. And you can send those over through Gmail.
That's right.
No, I check my Gmail all the time. Nothing falls out of my phone. I need straight cash, homie. Randy Moss, straight cash, homie.
But in the meantime, you can send us an email, loadthispodcast@gmail.com. Hit us up on all the socials, @loadthispodcast on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And make sure you subscribe and shoot us a comment on rate and review on whatever podcasting app you happen to use.
I am currently using Podcast Addict. That's my
Is that what you
podcast app for now.
I use Pocket Casts.
Yeah, I wanted to try that too.
Yeah.
I still go to the link you sent me.
We got to get you an app, Joe.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any difference how you listen to it. I mean, you can go to our website. We like that just as much as any of them. But for automatic download, if you use Stitcher or Pocket Cast or there's hundreds of them.
And of course, Apple Podcasts,
Google Music, and then Spotify. If you like Spotify, you can find us on there. Just search for "Get a Load of This."
Yep,
that's all we got.
All right, that's it.
That's all she wrote.
Okay, until next time, I'm Jared.
I'm Ryan,
and this is Joe. Love you, Andy, my bro.
And get a load of this.